Good morning, my fellow Tater Heads. This is Tater Lee, and this is my day 2 of my tater diet. Yesterday was very successful. As you may know, I had a bowl of potatoes in the morning, the little finger potatoes. They were baked and boiled combination using the microwave. Last evening I made some potato like cakes or fries using the Foreman grill here, as you can see. We'll put a picture up on that later. This morning I am making hash browns from scratch, which I'll show you, using a red potato. I've already taken the potatoes and grated them on the grater here. In a minute I'm going to fry them, but the thing I'm excited about, for those of you that might be skeptical about the tater diet, I looked into a lot of medical research on this, and of course one of the things I was very impressed with was Penn Jillette, and how he had to literally, for the sake of his life and his family, he had to lose a lot of weight. His doctor said he had a 90% blockage in his heart. And so as a result, he lost, ultimately, at this point, up to 102 pounds, and it's just quite amazing. But I looked into the medical research with regards to it to make sure it was safe. One of the things you may want to know is I'm an epileptic. I'm a grand general epileptic, and because of that, I have to be very careful what I eat. I'm also on a cannabis oil, CBD oil, legally here in the state of Texas for epileptics, and I'm also taking high blood pressure medication. So I wanted to make sure that this would work for me. Now, I've lost a lot of weight in years past. I lost 76 pounds at one point using the Atkins diet. But then, due to a lot of things that occurred in my life, I went off of that diet, and I haven't put that 76 pounds back on, but I have put on about 50 pounds. And so what I'm trying to do now is take all that off for my health's sake as well. I'm 65 years of age. I weighed in yesterday as I began the diet at 260 pounds even. I've lost almost 4 pounds just being on the diet in one day. Now let me show you this so you don't think I'm kidding. I weighed in, and here's my weight. It was 257.2 this morning, so you can see that I'm leveling here with you. It's not the best in the world. We're going to figure out how to do things like this better in the future, but it was 260 yesterday and 257.2 today, so doing pretty good. Almost 4 pounds. Actually, at one point yesterday I was at 261, but when I weighed in initially, I was 260 before I started the diet. Just thought you'd like to know that. One of the things that several of the medical journals that I read about the potato diet is because of the fact that potatoes are high in potassium and magnesium, you need to drink a lot of water with it. So there's some indication from journals like the New England Journal of Medicine and the American Medical Association that you should drink at least 8-ounce glasses of water per day while you're doing this, because of the detoxification to the body. It will cause you to have to use the restroom quite a lot. All right, let's get on with this diet here and making breakfast. You have to be very creative, like with any diet, where you're going to eat the same thing all the time. So this being the case, I've made my hash browns, as you can see here. I have ground them, and now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cook them. Again, I chose to use the red potato this morning. There's 2 reasons for that. The potatoes are easy to cut, these large red potatoes. I cut them into quarters like this, like you might cut an apple, and it makes it easier for you to grade them in the grater. Now, one of the things you have to do when you're doing this raw like this is you do have to make sure that you pour all the water off. Now, this is something that I've actually done before I started on the diet, but that was in the days of everything being greasy and deep fried. This morning we're going to take a different approach. This is a modified approach that I've seen on several of the potato diets. Now, one of the things, many people use just like potato flour, and they mix it with the hash browns. Some people even buy the pre-made, which is fine if they don't have any other ingredients in them, and they mix them with potato flour and put them in a waffle iron or the George Foreman grill or variations thereof. But this morning I'm going to try something. I found that many of these canola sprays, this one happens to come from Walmart, great value, are 100% fat-free. Now that's strange being a cooking spray, but as you can see from the label here, I don't know if you can see that too good, it is 100% fat-free. There's no fat of any kind in it. Kind of concerns me. There's no fat, no saturated fat, no trans fat, no polyunsaturated fat, no monosaturated fat. There's no cholesterol, no sodium, no potassium, no carbohydrates, no fiber, no sugars, no protein. So kind of wonder what's in it, you know. But anyway, we're going to use it this morning, and what we're going to do, I am using also another thing that is seen on a lot of the podcasts and info channels. I'm using what's known as a New Wave cooker. It cooks things slower, so rather than cooking it on the traditional stove over here where it might just get overheated, I'm going to use the New Wave. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it in this flat cast iron pan. It's almost like a griddle, but it's flat and it's got a handle, so it's a little bit easier. I'm going to spray this non-fat substance on here like such, and then I'm simply going to, once it gets heated enough, which won't take long with the New Wave, it's very, very quick to heat up, but then it's also very easy to control. Now I want to make sure I get all of my utensils ready. So I've got my spatula here. Because of the fact that it is cast iron, it's very easy to get to. Now I can already see, you can touch it a little bit. That's the neat thing about this. And it is starting to get pretty hot. And you feel the heat coming off of it. That's something you can do with the New Wave you could not do with the traditional stove. Now, because it is already hot, this should be perfectly enough for me for a breakfast. I'm going to take this and I'm simply going to put it, because it is wet, I'm going to put it slowly on here, like so. And now we'll let it cook just like you would traditionally. The only difference is that we're using fresh red potatoes, and we're cooking it almost like you would regular hash browns, turning it occasionally, of course, as you can. As you can see, they're getting nice and brown. And this is the nice thing about the New Wave too. You can take it off, and the iron skillet will continue to cook. You come back over here and you simply start it up again, and we continue to let it cook. Now, while we wait for that to cook, just a couple of other things. As I discussed the other day, you can use a lot of products out there that are fat-free and will help you. This is a Molly McButter, which I kind of like. I'm a butter flavored freak. This is very good. As you can see, it's fat-free. See if I can get it up there close enough. Fat-free. Like the other, it's almost completely has nothing in it, except this is fairly high in sodium. It has 180 milligrams of sodium for 1 teaspoonful, and but you don't use that much. So if you want to flavor your potatoes of any kind with that, it shouldn't be bad. I'm also using, because it's recommended by a lot of dietitians, because you don't need much of it, and it helps to break down things in your body a little easier than traditional salt, although it is not iodized, which the body does need iodine, so you may want to mix it up with regular salt from time to time. This is the gourmet grinding Himalayan pink salt. You don't need much of it. You just put a little bit on it, you grind it, as you can hear, and it goes on very easy. Now let's check on the hash browns. Oh yes, they're coming along quite well. The nice thing about this is that these are actually homemade from scratch hash browns. And some people do a lot of things with hash browns. They put ketchup on them, barbecue sauce. Some people like to put even different kinds of syrups on them. Show you again how they're getting nice and brown. The interesting thing about this is we can continue to cook these because of the iron skillet, and it's not even on the new way. But we'll put it back over here and we'll start it up again. I like mine very crispy. One thing I'll tell you, I was a real skeptic about this potato, or as I'm calling it, the tater diet, until I lost this 3, almost 4 pounds this morning. And it's very, very refreshing. Of course, now I will say this, men do lose weight faster than women, and for me, it seems that a lot of this was probably water weight. So, you know, that's neither here nor there, but it does look like that the diet is working, and this is only day 2. It's up to you to decide. I will say this, because I am a doctor of psychology, I would heartily recommend that if you try this diet or any diet out there, that you check with your physician first to make sure that it is okay. Especially if you have anything such as I do with epilepsy, high blood pressure, heart disease. Check with your physician first. A simple phone call might suffice. They're coming along nicely. Now some people might say, well, I can get the frozen and it takes a lot less time. Here we're going to show you again, they're getting nice and brown. But the big difference is that these are fresh. They're not organic, but they are fresh. They came right out of the market. I'm sure if they were organic, they would probably even be better. For me, I need to cook them some more. One of the things I found last night as I was cooking my potato wedges or potato fries, whatever you'd like to call it, on the Foreman, is that it was very, very... I'm going to get you some pictures of what I ate last night so you can see it. This was my cooking of my potato wedges last night on the Foreman grill. As you can see, they were delicious. As a matter of fact, I couldn't keep them on the plate before everyone in my household here was eating them. Even people that aren't on the diet, they were eating them with a little tiny bit of salt on them. They're quite delicious. And in case you didn't see it earlier, this is what the finished product looks like. And they were very, very good. I heartily recommend it to everyone. These were traditional Idaho potatoes, just simply cut into slices, long slices, and placed on the Foreman grill. When they were done, they take, one of the things I found is if you aren't afraid of the microwave, and I know some people into veggies are, but if you're not afraid of the microwave, you can take the potatoes, and if you're going to do the potato wedges, the potato fries, you can put them in the microwave for about 2 minutes. Wash them, of course, pierce them with a fork, put them in there like if you were going to bake them, and then when you're done with them, take them out after 2 minutes, cut them up, and then put them on the George Foreman grill or waffle iron, whatever you happen to have. It'll only take about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the crispiness that you like for the potato wedges. Okay, looks like our hash browns are ready. We'll put them on the plate now. We come over here. That's what they look like, and they look very good to me. And I can't wait to eat them. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Himalayan salt on them. Going to get a fork. And we're going to see how they taste. They're nice and crispy. Very, very tasty. For me, I like a little more salt. Let's try it again. Ah, yes. Very good, very crispy, great flavor. The red potato, of course, helps to make these also a little bit darker when you cook them. But like all potatoes, each potato seems to have a little different flavor. I heartily recommend this. I'm going to go finish my breakfast now, and we'll check in again with you tomorrow in day 3 of the diet, see if we've done any better. I might add also, I noticed this morning when I put on my pants that I feel like I've lost a little bit of weight in the waist area, so the pants seem to fit better too. So I heartily recommend this potato diet to you, or as I'm calling it, the Tater Diet. And until tomorrow, Tater Heads, this is Tater Lee saying, have a great day. Bye.